Our introduction to Murrells Inlet was in 1903. I was a 7-year-old boy. We were from Marion. My father was a shoe salesman. He had 5 brothers, no sisters. He had the least education of any of them. But he had a psychic mind. And he'd dream about something happening to people in our town, and it happened. Well, it was uncanny how often that kind of thing. He was I don't know what you call it exactly, but I call it a psychic mind. He was a shoe salesman. He didn't call himself a salesman, he called himself a drone. He didn't say I travel for a company, I travel for a concern. Well, he went to Conway on the train, and the shoe samples were in the express car, great big old trunk, and he expressed it to the Conway and went down to a livery stable and rented a horse and buggy and went to the express company, got his shoe sample and took ropes and tied it on the back of that buggy seat to go across roads that were like that. I wondered if that buggy seat was any good after that. I don't think so. That old trunk weighed about 200 pounds. And when he got to the Walkable River, we had to cross on an old ferry boat. And went across that river and went to Socastee and Little River and right up here in Garden City, where McDonald's is now. The last working he called on Mr. Vereen, selling the shoes. Well, he got afternoon and he said, Mr. Vereen, I got to go back and turn this horse and buggy in the Conway and thank you for your order. Here, Mr. Willcox, you go do no such of a thing. You got to cross that river. That ferry man will be gone to bed. He won't be there to expect you to come back at night. You'll stay on that bank all night long. Mosquitoes be eating you up. Said, you're going to spend the night with me. And he took him round to the waterfront and showed him Murrells Inlet. And he fell in love with it. He got back, told people all over his territory how to find the Garden of Eden. After he moved here later, he said, folks, this is the Garden of Eden. He said, Adam and Eve used to live here, but they played helibus, and the Lord drove them out. And he said, you won't believe this, but I've been here ever since. Well, the following year, on the 5th of June, school was just out, he got some neighbors interested. 3 families, all on the same street, named my grandfather, Willcox Avenue. 3 neighbors got together, and we left in 2 two-horse wagons for Murrells Inlet. To spend 2 weeks. My father had rented a little house about a half a mile up this way, up in the little Sunnyside community, they called it. This and Sunnyside are the only 2 houses within 10 miles we had. It's in the natural register of historic homes. All these old homes, practically all of them, been burned, accidentally, of course. The one at Brook Green was burned in 1901. The old last of the Flagg family, a Flagg built this house. This man's nephew, 1901, was smoking his pipe at night, reading the newspaper, and went to sleep and burned that lovely old house up. They have the kitchen left, that's all. Anyhow, we got to the middle of Moree County the first day. The sun was setting behind us, and we knew we were headed right because we were headed east. That's the only reason we knew that, though. We stopped at a farmhouse of my daddy who got this thing up, got these neighbors interested. 3 couples and 10 children. I wasn't the youngest, I was 7. And 1 cook, a colored woman. 17 of us in 2 two-horse wagons. He went to this farmhouse and knocked on the door. He said, lady, we are not gypsies. We are people, we rented a house at Murrells Inlet. We're going down there to spend a couple of weeks. We didn't know where the night was going to struck us. But the sun is setting, as you see, and we like to spend the night with you folks. The idea of 17 people wanting to stop at a farmhouse and invading that house, he was very eerie about the situation. And she says, I don't know about that. She said, the men who sleep in the wagons, they got hay for the horses, and corn, bags of corn they can use for pillows, and they sleep out in the wagons. And we promised the women will take care of your house. They got sheets and spreads and pillowcases, pillows. They sleep on the rugs in your living room floor with the children. So I promise you won't hurt you any. She was still a little uneasy about it. She couldn't phone because it didn't have any phones then. Couldn't phone the sheriff. Oh, he kind of said he's trying to take my house over. But finally he pulled out a $5 bill and the door flew open just like that. She took us in. The next day we off at daylight. And about 10 o'clock we got to the Waccamaw River, and there was this wide river where the inland waterway comes down behind Myrtle Beach now from Little River and joins the Waccamaw River there, very wide at that place, maybe 400 feet wide, maybe less. But anyhow, he hadn't told us that we had to cross a river on an old homemade barge. And you know, we looked at him and accusingly, and he knew what to do with the old rusty plowshare hanging on a tree. There's a rock on the ground. He hit that thing, and I can hear the reverberation of that thing today. It made such an impression on me. This side of the river, a man was plowing his corn. Corn was about so high. He was a ferryman. Put his power lines around his plow handle and left his horse eat his corn. And about 45 minutes later, he got that old barge across that. Drove those 2 wagons and 4 horses, 17 people on that homemade barge. Well, my father got about halfway across the river, and the way he got it was he had a cable tied to a tree. Came through a pulley on a 4x4 about so high on one front corner of the ferry boat. And the back corner was another 4x4, a pulley. A cable came through that pulley, and tied the tree on the other side of the river. And he had a piece of wood about that long, I think it was over half. He cut a little slit in it. He called it a ratchet. He's walking. He caught that in that cable and walked backwards from the front of that ferry boat to the back. And the movement of his body and the weight of his body carried that thing across that river. Now, if that wasn't the 8th wonder of the world, I don't know what was, but it was more wonderful, really, than some of the 7 wonders we remembered through the years. But halfway across, my father got nervous. He realized that he had put 17 people into jeopardy. And he waved his hand. He said, "Don't anybody move." He was afraid that Dave would come out drinking water and they would all run over that side to turn this thing over. In fact, it would have happened probably. He said, "Don't anybody move. Stay right where you are." He held up 2 fingers. I remember saying, "We are 1.5 inches from eternity." I didn't know what eternity was, but I knew Papa didn't think we were prepared for what eternity was. But anyhow, we got across the river finally, and I said, "Well, thank God we haven't gone to eternity yet." But we got across the river and went about 3 miles to the first store, a little town named Socrates between there and Conway. We stopped there, got some last minute groceries, no stores on here. And that 5 o'clock the second afternoon, we pulled away that little house. That was our introduction to Murrells Inlet.